she had ginormous interlabias. Like, ginormous. No, that's your
areola.
Like an areola, you idiot. That's the best. For those who I have to, because it's a listening show, I say labia, and
he
then
puts his hand up.
Daffy fucking starts putting a circle on right where his fucking chest is.
That just reminds me,
like an areola. I'm like, no, you idiot.
That
A
just
labia.
That just reminds me of your.
Point to that?
I didn't point to anything because I didn't feel like I needed to.
Might have helped.
Don't feed the animals, signs all around. We talk a lot of junk, yeah, you vibing with us now. Build something from the ground up, yeah, we like to clown. Talk about some real stuff, yeah, something profound. It's a pleasure that you're hearing us, wouldn't mess around. It's a topic of discussion worth talking that we bust and put a nail in the coffin. If you love it, then you love it. If you don't mean nothing, still bring it to the public. Y'all, don't feed the animals, put them in a cage, they couldn't handle truth. We gonna bust out the gate like some cannibals. Same face, same channel, messing with the tune. A bunch of idiots stuck in one room, can't take us serious. You love what we feeding you. I'm with the show, yeah, proceed with the interview. Local celebrity, snatch a toy from your cereal. Don't feed the animals.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Don't Feed the Animals podcast. I'm your host, as always, James, and with me is
Legendary.
my former co-host with my current co-host. My current co-host being DJ Daffy.
In the flesh.
And coming back to visit and hopefully maybe come back permanently.
Still talking to my agent about that.
Is my good buddy, my oldest friend. Because he's old. You're probably the oldest friend.
I'm old and a friend.
You're probably the oldest friend that I have.
I'll teach you whippersnappers a few things.
Berto.
In the fleshlight.
Fleshlight. Yay! And it's my birthday. It's my birthday podcast. Hello, we're here celebrating this beautiful day.
We gotta spank him. It's birthday.
Hey.
Birthday spanking.
Don't promise me a good time. Yeah. So, welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Don't Feed the Animals podcast, where we are going to deep dive into special story time today. Today's another story time podcast because this is the first time that John and Berto has been on a podcast together. Now, if you guys are not so new listeners, you remember Berto from many early episodes and a little bit of the middle episodes and some of the end. And oh, you all right? You farted?
Yeah, I'm good. I had to mute my
Okay.
mic for that one.
And then we have the one that's been on pretty frequently.
Yeah.
DJ Daffy.
I think I'm holding that record.
So if you guys aren't up to date, Berto is one of my best friends that I've known for a very long time, since I was a teenager.
Allegedly.
That's what they say. That's what I'm supposed to say. And then you have my cousin. I've known him since, he was born.
Forever.
Yeah.
Did you
So-
guys find him on the side of the road or something?
Yeah. I mean, I think he got shitted out somewhere. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I was just there.
I know.
Found him in the Burger King bathroom.
So I guess the best way to get into story time is that I kind of remember when we all started. I would think a good story that I want to tell our audience is a story of when we all kind of started hanging out. Now, there is a bit of an age gap. Not much, but enough. Because when you're younger, you tend to not hang out with people really that far outside your age bracket. I believe so. So
And
when
if
you're
you
in your,
do, it's weird.
yeah, when you're like a teenager, you hang out maybe 1 year younger. I mean, nobody's an ensemble like Stranger Things cast where you have like all the the older cool teenagers hanging out with the really young.
You talk to certain people and you hear certain red flags and you're like, peace out, I'm out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because it's all still illegal.
Yeah. So, because it's just an age gap, you're only what? How many years older than me?
2.
2 years older than me. Berto's 2 years older than me, and how many years younger than me are you? 3 years younger than me. So the age gap is not that different. We're talking about 5 years or so between Berto and Daffy. So, why is that significant? Well, it's like I said, it means more when you're younger. You know what I mean? Like when you're in your teens, you're not really hanging out with. Like if you're in high school, you're not hanging out with middle schoolers.
Right.
That's that. So when we were in high school, you were still in middle school. Or if we were graduating, you're still in high school.
I
so
was getting into freshman.
there was like no reason to hang out with you.
True.
Just like there's no reason for college kids to hang out with the high school kids.
Right.
You know.
So even though both of us didn't go to college.
Right.
Or graduate high school.
Oh, I went to college.
I'm talking about us.
Oh. Sucks to be.
So, yeah. Just to like a frame, at one point, my cousin and I lived together in the same apartment, and I don't know, were you living in the apartment complex,
Oh, you just did a
Berto,
lot.
when he was living with us, or no?
I don't think so.
So you were just visiting a lot, but you didn't live that far.
No.
So it doesn't matter. So he was around. So you were around when he was living in my house.
I was
right?
just at a different house for
We
other
were
reasons.
like segregated as
Yeah, we were a little bit. So we.
You would have to go from there, like.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean,
I vaguely
again,
remember seeing you in passing. Like, this is my cousin. Like, oh, what's up?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
It
it's
was
better than what Chris's interaction was when you saw him, when he choked him out.
Hey, I just woke up.
I remember that story.
Yeah,
Right
so
here.
that will say that right. Yeah, it's in this room. I
Blood
think
still here?
my brother was coming down the stairs, and he just coming down the stairs just to see what's going on in my room, and
Just woke up from a nap and
woke up from a
went
nap.
right back.
Berto was sitting there. Berto was bored, and
Took
he just
another
decided
nap.
to give him a sleeper, and he
worked?
put him in. Oh, it worked, and he dropped him like a cool guy, and his head slammed against the floor.
Oh, wow.
And then he was
Twitched a
like,
little bit.
didn't know what was happening.
He forgot math, but you know.
Yeah. And then he got up and he was like, why am I still tired?
Where am I?
And I'm just like, I just couldn't believe that you put him asleep and you just dropped him. Like, it's one thing that you out of nowhere pulled him to sleep.
To
You
be
know what?
honest, I thought he was playing, and then I was like, ooh, no, he's not.
No, because why would you're only like three times the size of him. There's
Only.
no possible way you could put him to sleep with those dainty little girly arms.
That's classic.
Yeah.
I wish I was there for that.
It was pretty fucking it's
I was just
horrifying and hilarious.
I was
at the
just
same
trying to
time.
hug him from behind, and it just went wrong.
Yeah,
It
bear hug.
was a sincere hug.
Berto hug.
It's a bear toe hug. So yeah. So like, I guess we're gonna start from. We have to introduce a character, and it's a mutual friend that's in all of this. Unfortunately, because we may tell a story
To not incriminate anybody.
that may or may not incriminate somebody, we're just gonna refer to this guy as B, or
Be rad.
B Rad. Yeah, his name, and you know what? Yeah, B Rad. We'll just name that. So B Rad is gonna be like the glue between Daffy, Berto, and myself, and all this fun stories that are all gonna be involved. Hopefully, one of these days, I'll get B Rad on this podcast. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens after this episode. Even though it's my birthday episode, these are one of the good stories that I feel like I need to share with the podcast. I've shared so many stories, and I feel like there's more to tell. So, to begin, I don't know if you knew how much you knew my friend B Rad.
I think I've seen him at a couple of parties, but I never spoke to him.
Right.
You know, like it was just like, okay, you know, that guy again, whatever. And it was just like, but it wouldn't be every party. it'll just be like certain one, like, okay, so you do chill with that group, and they
Yeah,
usually
it was
the
like
party.
the group of friends and stuff.
Yeah, so it was a group, always a different group when I did it, but I bumped into him, a couple times, but
Yeah.
nothing further from there until the whole meet and greet unofficially.
Yeah. So, and then we knew our friend Berto pretty much through me, I guess.
Yeah, through
and
you.
just hanging out, because at that time Berto and I were inseparable, and we would hang out everywhere and just do everything together.
Work at the same jobs.
Yeah, working the same jobs and stuff. I don't know what job were we working at that time, or we were not working. No, I worked at Levi's. No.
No,
Yep, I worked at Levi's. So we have yet to work together because Levi's was my first job. So I worked at the mall. It was really cool and trendy. Loved eating at the food court. That's how I probably gained all that weight.
The Whopper, man.
Yeah, I was a whooper of a whopper. This is when I was still skinny, young, handsome James with short hair. But we ended up all trying to see what's the best way to start. I guess we're gonna start with Berto and I hanging out with B-Rad and his crew and clique, and then so that with that being said, this is gonna be where we might tell that incriminating story, because I think this happened more so first.
Oh, it definitely happened first.
But it was great for me because I got to see two sides of something that I didn't realize. So, and you're not involved at all, though, at this time. So I guess I'll tell the story of B-Rad first to show you how awesome of a guy he is. No, don't get me wrong. I love him, and he's the best, and I miss him so much. And I hope if he does listen to the show, he realizes how endearing this is going to be for me to him. Like, I miss him. Really do. Miss that guy. He's a good time. He was a little bit of a hothead, but love it. So, you need friends like that sometimes. You need those fucking wild cards. So I remember hanging out with my friend B-Rad, and we would his track record of certain things was always interesting, because I remember one time he was awesome. He would come to my house, and I would be like, yeah, I don't have a girlfriend. I haven't had a girlfriend in a while. And he's like, I can get you one. And I'm like, you can do that for me? You just get me a girlfriend just like that?
Like that?
Just like that? And he's like, yeah, I know somebody. Now let's get ages straight. At this point in time, I'm probably
19?
15.
No. Oh, okay. That was earlier.
Yeah, this is before we all, because you knew B when we were out of high school, right?
Yeah.
And you probably interacted him maybe before then, but we really didn't hang out till after we were out of high school.
Yeah, I think I was like 16.
So
16,
yeah.
16.
So that's going to be the time. But let me just say my story first. Get everybody to get a frame of who B-Rad is, and then we can go how we all like met. But it's because of this guy. So yeah, he would be like, yeah, I can get you a girlfriend. And I'm like, really? That's cool. And I'm like, sure. So he does, like, but it's always a scam. Like, it's always there's always like an angle.
It's like Trailer Park Boys.
It's exactly. He is all of the trailer. Well, no, he's mainly like, he's Ricky, because he kind of looks like him.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
I could see him stealing meat from a grocery store.
Oh yes, I definitely can. I mean, just to give you an idea of like his demeanor of a person. Anytime we went to a party together with him, it would be like we would all be vibing in normal house party, and all of a sudden he would like stop, and if there was a record playing, you'd hear the record skip, and he's like, all right, who's ready to commit a small crime? And I'm just like, what? We're just chilling. What is quite so intense?
Who says that?
He says that, and I think he got arrested. I guess that night. He did, and I think
when he sets his mind to something,
he just does it. I think he was locked up through Easter. Yeah, it wasn't his fault. It was always something stupid, though. It was never like, 100% his fault.
Innocent until proved guilty.
Exactly. He's not incriminated yet. So yeah, like if he'd be like, get me a girlfriend, he'd get me a girlfriend, and it was a scam, because it was basically the girl wanted to break up with her boyfriend, so they were using me. So like I'm bait.
Oh.
So they use me as the guy for her to like her boyfriend to get to him.
Jealous.
And I'm like, but isn't that gonna cause him to have beef with me? And B would be like, yeah, but that's fine. Nothing's gonna happen. And I'm like, can you guarantee me that my safety? Can you guarantee my safety through safe passage, sir? And it's like, we can get it, no problem. You know, he'd be like, he's just like, he's ready for a fight, so it doesn't matter. And I'm like, you know what? That's fine. If he's gonna fight for me, that's fine. You know, I'm like, I don't even know this girl. So it ended up working. I ended up like making out with her that day, and you know, whatever. And I was like, all right, cool. And I think I ended up getting a girlfriend that day. I'm like, that's awesome. And you know, I was hanging out. It was like on the weekend, and then I remember going to school, and I'm like, yeah, but she's cool. But what school does she go to? Because she goes to Pines. I'm like, Pines Charter High School, because I'm in high school at the time. And she's like, no, Pines Middle School. And I'm like,
my school.
Record scratch again.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean, Pines Middle School? And he's just like,
PMS.
Yeah.
PMS,
Yeah. She goes to Pines Middle. I'm like, how old? Now, granted, how old are you when you're in?
15,
you're a
16?
sophomore.
15.
15. Yeah. So I'm like 15, and I'm like, am I going out with like a fucking 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old maybe? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah, what's wrong?
Wait, what?
Again, for context, James is 15 at the time.
yes, I'm 15. A 15-year-old going out with a 12, 13-year-old.
Still a little far-fetched.
It's absolutely far-fetched. Like we were telling you, when you're young, you don't hang out with people like when you're done with middle school, you're done with middle school. Like even if you're a freshman, you're not hanging out with middle schoolers anymore. You know, and when you're in college, you're not hanging out with high schoolers anymore. So I'm like, no.
Yeah, there's a reason there's that trope in movies where like the high school student doesn't want to be seen by his middle school brothers and sisters. Like, no, get up! I don't fucking know you.
Yeah.
It's so terrible.
So he's like, we can pick up your girlfriend after school on her bikes or stuff.
At the daycare center.
I'm like, I hate
Boys
you.
and Girls Club.
I hate you so much for this. I'm like, I can't believe you hooked me up with. Ugh. So that happened.
So
and
James rocked the cradle.
Obviously it didn't last long. That relationship. But
What happened? She was too immature.
It dropped her Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts too much.
yeah, actually, she was kind of fucked up. If I remember correctly, she was like claiming to be molested every day by some older guy, older than me now, and I'm like, yee. I'm like, I gotta get out of this one. And but I found out that she wasn't. She lied about that. She's actually goes out of her way to sneak out of her house to go see that guy, and she was just using that as an excuse. And I was just like, yeah.
Yikes.
And it was early. It was like a couple weeks into the relationship. I'm like, yeah,
So basically, if he doesn't give her allowance of money, she screams, molest.
yeah, probably what happened.
It's quite the hustle.
And yeah, and here I am looking at her like, oh, like at the time I was like, she pitched it to me like she was a broken victim. Yeah, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I broke up with her eating a Pop-Tart.
You're like, sorry.
I'm just eating the
Wherever.
Pop-Tart. I'm pointing at her. I'm just crumbs and fucking spitting out of my mouth. I'm just ain't gonna work for me. I can't do this
I
anymore.
think you drew a comic of that.
Yeah, I probably can. I did?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I probably did.
In your,
I drew a lot of things back then. Stupid things.
Johnny Homicide Man style.
Yeah. So that happened. I have one more story that does involve my cousin. And then you jump in probably at some point again later, because I was still in high school at this time. So we're hanging out. No. Let time pass. Plenty of little shenanigans ensue, and B-Rad, B-Man, whatever we're gonna call him, is he's getting in and out of trouble, and you know it is what it is, but it's fine. I think eventually he has to. This is going to be events that lead to him having to move out of South Florida and up to like Tampa area, if I'm not mistaken. So he's still living here, and now we're out of high school, and he's Woo! Okay. So we're hanging out with these girls. We hang out with this one girl specifically. I don't remember her name. But we're hanging out with this girl, and I think he's doing things with her because he says, I'm doing things with this girl. And that was like, obvious. And it was just interesting because I'm just like, man, this girl, she's kind of cool. She's really like into you. That's kind of cool that she's into you. That like she's like really into you. She looks a little young. She's still in school, and like because we're out of school, so she's still in school. He's like, yeah, she's still in school. I'm like, okay, cool. And yeah, I mean, she just looked like she was really like flirty, and like just I'm like, oh, it looks like a good time. Does she have friends? He's like, yeah, she has plenty of friends. We're gonna probably hang out with them, like next week. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome, like cool. We get to hang out with girls and on the beach or whatever. He's like, yeah, it's gonna be fun. We just gotta pick them up from school. I'm like, cool. And then I remember hanging out with him, and we're waiting to pick them up. And we pick them up from school. We pick them up from
middle school.
Middle school. Yeah. We picked them up from middle school. And I'm like, why is she wearing a uniform? Why are we in front of whatever charter school this is? I'm like, why is this? I had so many questions. I'm in the car while we're waiting to pick the. I'm like, and I see her in a schoolgirl outfit. I'm like, oh no, she doesn't look the same anymore. She doesn't look the same at all anymore. I'm like, this is a mistake. This is dangerous. I'm like, yikes. And then I'm just like, no. And I'm just like freaking out because I'm like, yo, B-man, what's happening?
Like, why am I waving at you?
Yeah, why are we here? What is going on? Yeah, and why am I waving? Why am I waving at the girl? Like, hey, remember me?
Did I put my hand down?
Yeah, put your hand down.
Is that my cousin?
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm like, so, yeah. So this girl, we pick her up, and her friend, Brittany, who's also young, but is very well endowed. I mean, guys, keep in mind, I am fresh 18. Like, I'm graduated high school. I turned 18. You know what I mean? Like, and these girls are like 15 or 14. 14?
Yeah.
14.
I'll be 15 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, like 15 in 2 weeks type shit. Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. And they just, they're just one of those girls like, okay, so could we paint a picture of this so like I don't seem like a real creepazoid, and like can we all just agree with the fact that some girls, especially, like they act older and they get themselves into some shit at a young age and they come off as older females? Yes, no, maybe so.
They want to portray themselves.
And I would say back in our days.
Yeah, back in our days specifically.
It was like really developed.
How things were different.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've seen some girls like in middle school going into high school with bigger tits than like a grown adult woman.
And that's look wise and just attitude wise too.
Yeah, attitude and look wise.
They're like smoking cigarettes and shit, and they're just doing a lot of different things.
Because we grew up in a time where the influence of being more mature and all that stuff was starting to grow, and so the kids at the time were trying to look and act more older. It was cool to be
older, yeah. But now it's like, fuck, I wish I was younger. I don't want all these bills.
I know, exactly.
Taxes, want to file taxes. Let me be young and have someone else deal with that.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. So we went to the freaking beach, and it wasn't like we're all hanging out, and then the girls decide to take their tops off, and it's not that type of beach. And then we're there, and I'm just like, this is so uncomfortable. Because it's me, B, and another friend. Huh? What'd you say?
Constantly looking over the shoulders for the cops.
Yeah, because I'm just like, these young girls with their boobies hanging out, and they're running around, and I'm like, it's funny because you're just like, oh wow, like girls my age aren't doing this for me. I felt like somebody from the Epstein Island thing that you were talking about the last episodes. It was like that. I'm like, I felt like I was hanging out with those people. I'm like, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know. For the age that you were in, for you to feel like that, I don't think you should have.
I only felt that way because I don't live that lifestyle.
But it's not like you were 30 chilling with.
No. I don't. It was wrong, but it wasn't like that wrong.
Right. But we were told.
And how many times have you when I was, how many times I was a middle schooler and I used to fucking roll my eyes when every hot girl would always be seeing a high schooler? All the hot girls in our school would always be seeing the high schooler that drives a car and sells drugs. That's it.
That was the shit.
Yeah. If you sold drugs, and
bitch.
you're an older dude, you're fucking kicking up all the middle schoolers.
We grew up being told, like, once you hit a certain age, you can't date people at past a certain age.
Yeah.
No matter the stipulation.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was just a thing where I was just like, oh, this is weird. So I just felt uncomfortable, but they didn't, for obvious reasons. I mean, I was, I was in the same room while I was getting a blowjob one time, and me and my friend were there, and it happened behind us, and it started to happen when we were already in the room.
So why were you guys still in the room?
We're watching Elf, and
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, Will Ferrell, like Elf, and then my friend is just like loving. He's like, well, we were watching this movie. I'm like, but she's giving him a blowski behind us. That's like weird.
But you just hear, you got big balls.
That's all I hear in that room. That's all I heard. Is her just say that, and I'm just like, trying to pay attention to Will Ferrell, and I'm just like, and I hear that like, you got big balls, and I'm just like,
baby, it's cold outside. Trying to sing along with Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah, I'm like, this is awkward. It was so awkward. But it gets more awkward eventually, because did he okay, no, so this is where we're gonna tie in B-Rad and Daffy's storyline. So what this girl with you got big balls girl, I'm going over to my cousin's house, and I walk into my cousin's house, say hi to my aunt, say hi to my other cousin, and then I say hi to you, and then I'm like, hey girl that sucked B-Rad's pee behind us while we're watching Elf, and then I'm like, wait, what the fuck are you doing in this house? It was awkward.
And then I was like, well, she just finished sucking my pee-pee. He goes, really? I'm like, yeah, you just missed it. He goes, I never got that until I heard the other side of the story. I was like, oh, so you would have witnessed this. But it's funny because...
But here's the thing. She was your age.
Yeah, she was in my age bracket, and she was swimming in my dating pool and everybody else's dating pool. But, like, I believe I met her at a house party.
Yeah.
And I would hang around with these older lesbians that were like your guys' age.
What's her name? You just use her name. You can use her name.
Lesbians or
her? No, the
ball
the girl's name.
Oh, the ball gazer. Oh, oh, Diana. So
there you go.
So yeah, I met her, and I was DJing, and this is like my pre-start ages. Like I didn't even have a name. Like I was just DJing really good, and this is back when you would have a suitcase full of CDs.
Right.
And you were constantly on LimeWire downloading everything.
Make sure you didn't get that Bill Clinton sound clip.
Yeah, right. Like I remember I downloaded over 1,000 songs within like less than hours. I was just like jacked in.
With 10,000 viruses.
Yeah. And so after that, like I started going to more parties and stuff, and it was like obviously I was the younger one out of everybody in these parties, but I don't know, I was mature. I was thinking I was older enough, and thinking, that whole Napoleon vibe, like, fuck yeah, I'm older. So then whatever, I've seen, B-Rad at these parties, and I'm like, who's this girl?
Was he at the same party with her at any point in time?
What I think both of them were at the party, her and the homegirl.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I was already like, fucking around with her.
Yeah.
And then like she was like, oh, I didn't know you were DJing and everything. I was like, yeah, my homegirl told me to come through and help her out, while she, turns all these straight females gay and stuff. So that was her shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just like to watch and be like, yo, she's not gonna do it. She's not gonna do it. I was like, oh man. She's like, yeah, I just ate her out right now. So it kept going, and then this was like the second, third party I did with her, and then people walking in. I'm like, man, this party got some buzz. So I'm DJing. I put a playlist on. I got a couple of CDs ready. And yeah, that's when I seen you guys. And prior to that, I already went on like a date or two with this girl, and then like first time you saw her was it my crib or at the party? No,
your house.
Yeah, so I invited to the crib. My mom said I could invite somebody. She's in the room. My mom's cooking. I'm getting my blowski while watching Boondocks. And yeah, that's when I seen you, and you were like, wait, how do you? Wait.
No, I was shocked when we were hanging out with. So you skipped it because you went ahead, and I didn't want you to do that, but that's okay.
What part?
This the part with her and you. That's it. You went all the way over to
yeah, me and her ended up
we
going
haven't
a
even
couple
gotten to the
dates.
part where Berto and I hang out with.
Well, I mean, there
B-Rad.
wasn't much till afterwards. Remember, there was a beginning, middle, and after between her. Because in the beginning, we were just dating, doing all that. And then that's when you were like, oh, what's so-and-so's name? And then I told you. And you were just like, wait.
No, I didn't know from conversation.
Yeah, because I told you I seen Seduce at Flippers. And I was like, yo. And then this girl was there. And I was like, yo, what's up? It's like, how you doing? And then we just started kicking and all that. And then from there, you came in my room after I got a Boski. And you told me some inside jokes. I didn't know what you were saying because I didn't know about that backstory about that.
Yeah, because I didn't know that I already fucking dealt with this
I didn't
web
see
I
it.
had
And I was like, how do
already.
we know each other? She's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then like that's when she mentioned B-Rad.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I wanted you to tell. And so we got
the
that part.
connection, and then
Yeah. So when I don't remember if you do you remember how I introduced you two?
I think I met her at the mall.
Not her. Me and
Oh, B-Rad?
yeah.
Ooh.
Just probably through just mutual.
Yeah. I mean, I want to say no.
It's probably at the mall at some
yeah,
point.
it's probably at the mall at some point.
Yeah, and then I guess all these instances would make it seem like he's interested in it because I remember we hung out with, was it both of them or just the one?
I think it was just the one.
Okay, so this girl Diana had a friend named Brittany.
yeah.
And her friend the friend Brittany was the one with that look. See, Diana looks like she's young, like if you really look at her.
Yeah, she had the baby face.
Yeah, but the other one looked way older,
More mature.
way more mature.
Physically.
She didn't act
and-
mature.
and she just acted like a dumb rock. But
Yeah, she was too much. But I remember when B-Rad and his friend and me and I think we went to visit you. Maybe I don't know if you were working there or
yeah, I was probably working at the mall or something.
and then we introduced and we just show like, oh, look at the girl. Like you probably had the same impression I did when I first saw them hanging out with girls. I'm like, oh wow, you really do hang out with like girls, and
Real
they're all
girls,
over, and they're
yeah.
all over you.
And you don't think they're younger.
No,
you
you
think
don't.
they're the same age. If not,
We're
maybe
all
older.
young when you
Yeah.
really think about it, respectively.
Unless they had the uniform on. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'd give it
She
in.
didn't. She just had her red shirt and whatever the heck.
Yeah,
it was.
she's a blonde with big jugs.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And then the friend had a big ass.
and the friend had a big ass.
So it was like TNA right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember we're all sitting there in the food court chatting it up like for an hour plus,
Yeah.
whatever, and then like she said something about blah 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 school. I'm like,
What
what school is that? And they're like, oh, well, whatever middle. I'm like, hold up, what?
Yeah.
They're like, how old are you? And she's like 14. I'm like, well,
Yeah, and
It's
that's when
been-
you check out, right?
it's been nice.
Yeah, you check out at that point. When
Yeah.
you hear stuff like that, you're like, beep.
We're like,
I'm
Brandon,
done.
you do you. I gotta
go.
I gotta go, man.
I gotta go.
Well, there goes that, B.
Yeah.
Gotta go. The cops are coming.
I'll bleep out the.
Gotta grab
that's
some free
okay.
samples from the food court and get the fuck out of here.
I gotta. What time is it? 34.
Oh,
Okay,
my bad.
I'll bleep out the name. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, man. It was funny because then, like, besides that story with her, like, it was like I started seeing him at other parties with other people,
Yeah.
and it was just like,
He get around.
yeah. And that was when I was getting into my stoner phase.
Yeah. I remember that too, because so this is around the time. So time frame wise for our Don't Feed the Animals listeners, this is around the time where I started dating the older lady. This is how I got to meet her. I met her through B-Rad or
Big D.
yeah. I met the older lady with the two children, hanging out in the same circles as them. Obviously, it's a dark circle, but it was
She was older than them, but not by like a drastic amount.
who.
D.
Sure, she was. She was 8 years older than the crowd.
But
I think that's pretty drastic considering
I mean, yeah.
what we're talking
How old
about.
were you at the moment?
I was 18. Yeah.
That was a good run.
No, it was bad.
Well,
It was awful. There was points in that relationship when I was with D when I was just like,
Used to cry in the shower naked.
I mean,
It was a nice idea and concept, but in execution,
no, it was awful. It was awful. Even there was, you know what's fucked up? When you're at that certain, like, just insecure age because I was good looking, and then I got really ugly and fat, and like scruffy and long hair and all this other stuff. But I was. It's just crazy how you just allow yourself. Because I remember looking at like her pictures on the wall and just being like, God, this bitch is ugly as hell. Like, I don't get it. Like, she had no trait that I was like, that's a trait that I like. The only trait I guess I liked is the fact that she touched my pee-pee. Like,
I think it was the ass. I was going to say the ass.
I was going to say the ass, too.
Nah, the ass was okay. The ass was,
I thought that's what you were going for since you said she was ugly and everything else. I thought it was instant.
I was that and the pee-pee touching, but...
The pee-pee touching mainly. Because here's the thing about the ass. I've been with somebody, but she had an awful smell. No. No.
Like bacalao or like hot dog water.
Yeah, like a freshly popped pimple.
Oh, that's gnarly.
Like a pussy, like
a bag of wet pennies.
Like a hospital medical waste basket.
Yeah, like that.
Ooh.
Like that.
That's bad.
That's what her fucking pussy smelled like.
Like something was dead. It was bombed out and depleted.
This is I don't know. This is another one. I remember
the youngest kid fucked that pussy up on the way out.
I guess. I remember when she was going to the gyno, and I went with her because I was a bitch, and went with her anywhere she went. And she asked me a question, and she's just like, "I need you to answer. I'm gonna ask you a question. I need you to answer this honestly." And I'm like, "What's up?" And she's like, "I was in the straddle or the whatever what's it called?"
I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
And
the seat where
you spread your legs. Yeah, exactly. And we
the torture chair.
Yeah, I was in the torture rack. And
the twat spreader.
Yeah.
Twat spreader. And
she's like, the doctor left, and I overheard him talking to the nurse saying how bad I smell. I'm like, oh.
I need you to stick your nose in there and tell me.
No. She's like, do I smell? I'm like, all the time.
I thought it was normal.
Do you smell all the time? I'm like, no. I couldn't answer it, but me not answering it was the answer though. Yeah. Like me not answering that question was the answer. Because I didn't go, no. Keep in mind, this isn't like, to be fucking fair, like I'm probably year 2 in, but you would think that my nose would
get used to it.
It never got used to it.
Kind of like how I used to.
That's how sick I am. That's how sick we are as men. Or I'm sick. Me. This is how sick I am as a person. Is that I dealt with stinky vagina smell.
Stank puss.
For like 2 years in my fucking teens. Like 18, 19. I'm just like, yeah, I'm a team player. It smelled so from day one. I remember the first time we did it. It's that I don't like that gross puss smell. It was bad.
I don't think any man
like old pennies.
No. Yeah, like wet old pennies.
Yeah, it's just like that. Yeah, like that weird,
metallic smell.
Metallic.
Yeah,
you get a little like a metallic ting in your tongue.
Yeah.
In the air.
Yeah, like the whole pH of the room just goes like down.
So it's like old aloe covered in old wet.
It was bad. I remember she even douched that. Do you want to hear another grosser story about that? This is my birthday episode in there.
I mean, that could have been the problem right there.
One
Doing
time,
too much.
What?
Douching it? Could have fucked everything up.
Douching it. She douched us for the first time that week. One time.
Was it foamy?
One time we're going at it.
Like the volcano with the vinegar and the baking soda.
Yeah, it just came out just like that.
One time we were going at it, and like.
By going at it, you mean sex, right?
Yeah.
Coitus.
Okay.
And then I'm like, yo, something's wrong, yo. Something feels weird. And then I go fishing.
Oh. She left the applicator in there?
Something stuck in there?
Did you find it?
You mean the whole tampon?
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like the douche applicator.
No.
I was like, did you find the decoder ring?
No, but I think I would rather find a douche applicator than a fucking old tampon in there. And I know that she wasn't on her fucking period for like the past 2 weeks.
Yikes.
Did she forget?
That wasn't as bad. Well, I mean, that's actually worse.
That is bad, yo.
What's bad? What's bad? Finding that, or me almost actually pulling out a pregnancy device?
What do you mean pregnancy? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Nuva ring
Like
or something.
the
Yeah.
rings?
I was like, the fuck is this grenade in there?
But was she aware of it?
No.
Probably not.
No.
How do you not know something's inside your puss for like 2 weeks? That 2 weeks overdue.
Body's a mysterious thing, man.
That's why her pussy smelled so bad, because she doesn't know she doesn't keep on top of it. She doesn't know what goes in and goes out.
Oh my god.
She's not keeping her manifest.
There's like an abandoned village in there. Old fireplace. 2 years? What the fuck?
So many years. So many years.
Could have been longer. Who knows?
No, it was like almost 3. It's just
almost 3.
Almost 3. Fucking banging really stinky puss.
You can't get that back.
Oh no, I for the longest time, and girls have checked for me, so it's fine.
Surprised.
I thought that I inherited the smell.
You thought you got stank dick.
Yeah, I thought like this from like doing all the things. I was like, that's it.
I thought it seeped into his foundation.
I thought it was in my
your balls.
In my balls. Yeah, I thought it was like.
I'm honestly surprised she didn't get like toxic shock or anything like that.
Oh, me too. It's crazy.
I mean,
it's crazy.
With her high stress job.
Not only that, she had ginormous interlabias, like ginormous. No, that's your
areola.
Like an areola, you idiot. That's the best. For those who I have to, because it's a listening show, I say labia, and
he
then
puts his hand up.
Daffy fucking starts putting a circle on right where his fucking chest is.
That just reminds me,
like an areola. I'm like, no, you idiot.
That
Labia.
That just reminds me of your.
Point to that?
I didn't point to anything because I didn't feel like I needed to.
Might have helped.
That reminds me of your other ex when she was like, "Oh man, I'm so sweaty. I'm sweating out all of my areoluses."
Oh yeah, because she's an idiot sandwich. But yeah.
You know what's funny though? Was that the relationship that you had with what's that other girl?
You can say people's names.
Yeah, they don't listen to
I
this
don't
shit.
remember her name. I want to say it's that one to N.
N. I never dated an N.
The small Spanish.
When did this happen? What's the timeline? Before, after?
It was, I believe, after D.
After D was.
She was psycho to.
was Lauren.
Yeah.
Then before that, yes.
Bridget.
Bridget was before D.
It was Bridget.
Vegetable medley.
Oh, you dealt. Vegetable medley. Are we gonna just change this? Fuck it. It's my birthday, so let's not change it to this. Let's just talk about all the awkward stuff that's happened to me. And my so
the
this
roasting of James
with this girlfriend that I had before D, we ended up. I ended up like sneaking into her house a lot, and
I miss those days.
Isn't it fun?
It's edgy. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so
we
fun.
didn't have texting and shit. We had to like throw.
Yeah, you
rocks at each
literally
other's
had to
windows.
like. This is the luck of the die. This is what you're doing tonight. There's no like.
You got to go out
Leave
there
it.
and make some
You
shit
either
happen.
went and you got accomplishment, or you fucking
Okay, so
walked
let's
home.
map it out real quick. So I'm living currently in the house I used to live in when I was the age when I was going out, like, you know, sexually active. So she lived in Pines, and we're in Davie. So that's how far you would say.
It's like a 20-minute drive,
20-minute drive. So was that like 15 miles?
more or less.
12 miles?
It's a long walk. It's a long walk.
It's a long walk and a bike ride, and guess
there's-
what?
and there's
At
no
the
public
time when I was
transportation.
getting my pee touched, I did both.
Mm-hmm.
I've walked
You do what you had to
and
do.
rode my bike to her house.
Shit, I've caught 2 buses and rode a bike and did it back.
Yeah. So I snuck out of the house on several occasions in the middle of the night. This is when Dad lived here. So this is like, if I get caught, it will be like that scene in what was it, House Party?
Oh man.
And he gets caught. Like, you think, oh, everything's gonna be fine, and Dad gets the belt, and it's like, oh, you had a good time? Good. Now you can get your ass kicked.
I don't know how that is. My mom was like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "Going out. Bye. Fuck.
Leave me alone.
Let me the fuck alone."
Nah, I definitely did the whole sneaking out thing, and I'll never forget the day I'm sneaking back in.
I would only sneak out if I had to steal the car. That was the only time I snuck out.
Stealing the
No,
car.
I was on foot most of the time. So when I snuck back in, my door's missing, and I'm like midway in there. I got one leg out the window stump coming in, and I just look up and I see my mom. Like,
What's up?
I'm sleepwalking.
Because that's what you do when you sleepwalk. You announce that that's what you're doing.
I really felt like I was gonna get my ass kicked, and she's like, "You getting ready for?" I was like,
Yeah.
"She's like, are you just getting in right now?" I was like, "Yes." She's like, "Okay, well, hurry up and go to school." I was like, "Why are you so calm? Where's my door?" She's like, "Oh no, you don't have a door anymore." I was like, "Did it break?" She goes, "No, I took it off the hinges." I was like, "I see that."
It's extreme.
Oh, you're gonna be sneaky, earn your door back. I'm like, can I just pay for it, or like,
Just
Can I
buy
write you a
the
check?
like I work for I was working at Little Caesars at the moment. I got direct
How much
deposit.
I got like $75 in my bank account. I can buy a door.
Yeah, and I think I did good for like a week or two, and she gave me the door back. No doorknob. I was like,
That's
I
extra.
gotta, can I just buy one? She's like, no, you gotta earn that one too. I'm like, I put a sock through it and just close it right there. I was like,
Come
I
at your
got
own
the door now.
ingenuity.
Come at your own risk.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I told her. I was like, you want to
I
come over
remember
here?
I remember your sock door.
Yeah, I'm doing a one-man shuffle. That's your show. You know what I mean? Fuck it. And then, like, I had her old mattress plus my new mattress. So it was, like, high. And it was just, like, I remember I was like, yo, I love this. Like, I was always in there. And then she was like, you're not going to want your doorknob back? I was like, no, doorknobs are overrated. Got this sock knob.
So I snuck out the house. I rode my bike probably a good. So if it's like a 15-minute drive, that means it's
45
probably
minutes.
a 45-minute bike ride. At 2 a.m. And riding to her development, she lived with her brother, and his wife and her niece. And she actually shared a room with her niece, but her niece was in the bedroom with the brother and the wife. And I do the old tap tap tap, and she opens up the window, and I'm just like, hell yeah! And I'm just like, I'm coming in. And she's like, come on in. And then
So
we
was she got,
go.
like a blanket or her hair? Like, how'd you get in there?
What do you mean?
It was like,
Oh,
low
her. She was on the second floor, but her window was right where the stairs are.
oh, so
It's just
the
hallway.
Okay, you have to.
You know the
pass by.
window that's in
In
the
the
hallway.
hallway.
Yeah,
So
Just
all you
like
gotta do is
just like
just-
some of the places we're in Green Key, like the window's right there next to the
Yeah,
door.
you
You
just-
just pop in.
pop in. So yeah, I just hopped in, and then we did our thing, and yeah. Oh, the vegetable medley thing didn't happen then. That's where that was like the first time I ever shot.
Ejaculated?
No, I've done that, but shot it.
Oh,
Like I've done it, and it just comes out. But this one was like
gone for the
choo
distance.
choo choo, and I was like, whoa, cool. You know,
like a-
she was on birth control, and then like she was like she didn't want me to still do anything like that, you know, inside. And I was like, okay.
I'm almost.
I'm like, okay, that's fine. And so I held it, but she wasn't quick enough, and I guess holding it back, and then it's just like, and it just, and I almost got her. Like I was like, shot her.
You injected it.
No, like when she got it, she's like, I'm gonna go grab something. She's like going around, and I'm like
And
holding
he
it
was
in.
already like,
And I held it in, and then I was like,
He's trying to like put his finger over a fire hose. Just
yeah, that's how it was. And it was just,
yeah, he was trying to hold on to it. It was just going
and she was
everywhere.
just like, Jesus. She like dodged it like Neo, because that was relevant at the time. And
Some landed on the cat.
everybody was making references to that.
a little
Still
bit
on.
landed on the cat.
Oh, the vegetable medley thing was hilarious. So I would be so I'd be in the bed. No, would be in the living room watching a movie. Her brother again, and his wife and her niece would be in the other room, and she would just go do her thing on me, and I'm
Go
like,
down on me.
oh, okay. So she's there, and I'm like, they literally can just fucking open up the door, walk right out, and then like they're like, because it's one of those things that even if you were to like straighten up real quick,
They'd know.
obvious, like the fuck you guys
Like
doing?
I'm praying to the cock.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on now. So, but she was going at it, and then it was kind of funny because she ate a lot of salads at the time. Like she was like, I'm on a diet. She ate a lot of salads, and I don't know. I felt something, and then I kind of was like, I didn't pay attention because I was like,
in bliss.
I was in bliss, yeah. So as I was in the moment, I'm just like, she's throwing up on my penis.
From gagging.
Gagging.
It's normal.
I was so thrown off because at first I was just like, was that me? Like I thought like, I was like in like a hentai video where it just like exploded in her mouth and then just everything was pouring out. And I was just like, yeah.
Did I just come lettuce?
That was the dead giveaway. That was the dead giveaway. It was I looked at the tip of my penis and I'm just like, that is a green
Lettuce.
leaf, and that is not my
That's
ejaculate. I'm like, and then I realized that she's just like, I'm so sorry, and I'm just like,
why'd you stop, bitch?
and that's exactly what I said. I'm like, it was awesome. I don't know why you're stopping. I'm just like, I think I was done yet. And
It's so warm.
I was trying to wonder why
so
I
at that point now it's cleanup mode, and then now we're done, and now I'm like shirtless getting vomit cleaned up off of me, and then the brother does come out and he's just like that. I'm like, and he's like, everything cool? And he sees me with no shirt on, and I'm just like, yeah, she had an accident, she threw up on me, it's gross. He's like, you good? And he's like, you need anything? I'm like, nah, we just
gotta wash my dick off, but we're good.
I gotta wash this 3-bean salad off my dick.
And then I told all my friends, of course, and then they named it the vegetable medley moment.
It's funny because years after that, I ended up taking up this gig where I did a couple years formal DJing where this lady owned a hall and she would just book me every month. I'll have like 4 or 5 gigs that pay. She'd give me a check and everything. It was this big party. She got all staff on deck, dressed up and everything, about to go to the DJ booth. I'm looking at this girl like, damn, this girl looks familiar. It looked cute, but I was like, whatever. And then she gave me a stare down, like an evil stare down. I'm like, damn, bitch. Da-da-da. And then so I hear my boss, her name is, and I hear her is like, she's like, oh, Bridget, come here real quick. Make sure the DJ gets everything he wants. And I was like, I know you. She's like, yeah, I think I know you too. I was like,
vegetable medley now.
yeah, right? I was like, didn't you date my cousin? Who's your cousin? James. She goes, that's your cousin. I was like, yeah. You guys look nothing alike. I'm like, I mean, we're supposed to look alike?
It's like we're cousins, not brothers. Fuck.
Yeah, right?
Cousins don't usually look alike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it's like, shit. It's fucking Jay Springer shit, but.
I have one cousin that looks like a female version of me.
Oh, God.
Wife can confirm.
So I was just like, this is funny. And I called James meeting, like, guess what? I was like, yeah, so I just started. She's like, your boss is my mom. I'm like, oh, shit.
I just fucked your mom.
Awesome. I was like, hey, your mom's such a bitch. God damn. I told her to shut the fuck out. Like, I was about to start going ham. She's like, yeah, that's my mom. I'm like, fucked.
Yeah.
That job didn't last that long, but still.
Yeah.
It was just like, yo, small world. This is just like.
Yeah. It's a lot of little.
But she was like so bitter faced. Like, did she always have that chronic bitch face? Like, she was just like.
Oh.
Bridget?
No. For the most part, she was okay.
Well, I guess anybody who works for that crazy lady is.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. She hated her mom, from what I remember. So it didn't.
It showed, definitely.
Yeah. Hence why she probably wasn't living with her.
Yeah. But then, like, when she rekindled her relationship, at least speaking terms, is when I was out the door, because her mom has money, lots of it. It doesn't matter. I know why I was out the door. I was a little bitch. Pudding back in the day. Everything was. I was very sensitive. I lived for my girlfriend type person, which was.
Man, I need to know what happened
insufferable.
to this party.
What party?
I don't remember that party.
What party?
Where you decided to dip.
Oh, that
Like,
party.
Did
you go? Were you at that party?
I remember.
So there was a party. So the party that he skipped over that we were when we were hanging out with B-Rad and
I remember being at a party where he was DJing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was it.
Okay.
So we all go with B-Rad to this party, and then I'm like, yo, that's my cousin. And then I ended up leaving to go with Stink Puss. And
Wait. Just for the listeners. The party was jumping. It was a lot of familiars. He just got there. And it was like no more than a couple of minutes. It's fine, just leave it. And I'm just over here like, yo, where's James? He's like, oh, he left. He went to go to. But if I would have known he was going to Stank Puss, I would have literally paid him to stay. Like, it was a great vibe. But what I remember is just I put a playlist on, so I started dancing, and I don't know what happened on like y'all side.
Did you? Yeah. What did you? Did you
was
remember
there beer
just having a
pong
good time?
involved or something? I know there was something.
Berto, do you remember having a good time when I was gone?
I mean, as much as I usually have a good time by myself at a party that I don't know anybody other than the DJ who's busy working.
Yeah.
And
he wasn't working.
You know
for money.
me. Well,
I mean, not like that. You were getting. He did a legitimate job. I bother him all the time.
I was like, you know me. Well,
I had a lot of bitches over there. Like
I had a little bit of respect for people, you know. Especially I didn't want to be like, hey, what you doing? You spinning records? You know, and you know me, I'm not the sociable guy, so I was just standing there looking like a fucking dingus while waiting for someone to tell me to do something. Like Brandon, like let's go. I'm like, all right.
Were you upset that I left?
No, I was happy for you. I mean,
I'm upset that I know the reason.
Not knowing that, you know,
that I was just begging to be with
Stank Puss.
Stank Puss.
It's bad that you left to go get that.
If I didn't know.
Oh yeah, again, there's another one of those time traveling moments where it's like you chose poorly, my friend. You chose poorly, young James.
Yeah, like, well,
if I'd have known then what I know now, that would have been like, no, man, let's stay here.
Yeah, and I would have stayed there, and I would probably had an awesome time.
I would have turned the music up.
Because I'm pretty sure we told this story, but we'll do a Cliff Note version real quick of a moment where Berto and I went to a party with B-Rad, and it was at this Asian dude's house that we never knew that lived in a nice.
But we sold it. We sold that. We knew it with that.
Oh, we did such a good job selling that we knew the guy. Because it was like, is it okay if we go? Now, in hindsight, it's probably not that hard. Like, a lot of people were there, so it was like, wouldn't have mattered. But we were there super early, so it was early and he was sober. And he's like, who the fuck are these people? You know what I mean? And we're just like, yeah, we were at the other party. And, you know, yeah, we just kept on repeating his name and just repeating our names. And, like, we felt like the more that we say our names and his name together, that it made sense.
It's slowly, he's like, yeah, he didn't want to look stupid. So he's like, yeah, I remember you guys.
He's like, yeah, we did that thing. It was crazy.
We Jedi mind tricked him.
Yeah, it was great.
It works so people don't like to feel awkward for too long.
Oh, no, it was fantastic. And then after that, that party itself was awesome. It was a time where, like, we got the music because they didn't have music playing. We're just like,
we had our CD
there's
book.
Too many people and there's a beautiful sound system, and we're just like, well, let's put music on, and we put music on. And even like the music we were playing was so like people were like, what is this?
Yeah, they're like,
because again, we're hanging out with like people who are like hood, quote unquote, and we're like fake hood. We're like Malibu's Most Wanted type hood. You know, where what we only know what GTA and San Andreas taught. I mean, and Def Jam taught us.
Yeah.
Fight for New York. That's only the hip hop that we know.
So we're trying to play like Method Man, thinking it's relevant and shit.
No, it's absolutely irrelevant. That, you know. Because that's not what people were. That's even now.
At the time, that wasn't what was trendy.
Yeah, it's not trendy.
Hip hop.
Yeah,
they wanted to hear whatever was playing on the radio.
It was already for old heads.
Yes, and we were like, but it didn't matter because it was better than nothing.
Right.
And then it only inquired people to get in their cars and get their CDs out and put them in.
And this was before everyone had Spotify or everybody had an iPhone.
Yeah, we're dating ourselves.
No, man, we're old.
We're old, but it's still. And I remember I was the first person to start dancing. I don't know if you remember it, but I do.
You usually are.
Thanks. I started dancing, and then this beautiful black girl comes up to me and starts dancing with me. And we were the only ones that said, oh, hell yeah, I was loving it too.
Tasty.
Oh, it was great. I don't know if I left that fucking party too.
Yeah, we left.
I did live that party. Oh, no, but we left that party because of an emergency that we're going to get to shortly. So the party is pumping, and did you take a body shot off of some random chick? Yeah, you did. Cool. Good. I mean, it was like that type of like, as you would call a Project X party. It was like that. There was fights that were breaking out, but like hilarious fights.
There's people fucking in rooms, people getting high.
Yeah. There was so the dude was Asian that owned the house. So it was like the Yakuza type thing going on. And they were eating crab, playing cards. Like it was like you could tell like their little clique because they were doing shit that like you would like a normal person would, like eating crap.
They were eating, and a lot of them were going in and out of other rooms, closing the door behind them real quick.
Yeah, they were probably just
booger sugar,
little booger sugar. But I remember how we're there and just a big fight breaks out for whatever reason, and the Asian people wanted to kick out these other groups of people, and then now it went all the way into the party and outside and breaking up, and now the cops are being called. Now everybody's trying to flurry out of there and run out, and I'm pretty sure we've told this story before in detail. But it was pretty good though. It ended hilariously, where I was just like, "This is nuts." And I think afterwards I fucking bitched out and went.
Pretty sure we all got in the boat, and I threw
went to
somebody in
Puss.
there. I think I threw someone in there. Like they were like, "Just get in the car, get in there." And I was just.
I don't think I was with you.
I was pretty.
No, I was left behind with my other friend, Sadush, who was just sizing up like these ghetto kids who had, like, they were like white posers. So like they would have the hat with the sticker on. He's like, "What's the point of the sticker in the hat? Like, what is that?" Like he was just start talking.
A million questions, dude.
And I'm like, their cops are coming like now, and you're fucking trying to get into a fight with it. He's like, "I'm not trying to get into a fight. I'm legitimately asking this question. I need to know why they have their hats like this." I'm like,
mind your business. That's
mind your business. Let's go. Can we go? He's like, "But I need to know." And I'm like, "Can we fucking go?" The lights. You can see the lights. He's like, "Fine, we'll go." And I'm like, "Fucking A. Thanks, douche."
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun times to be had. Well, hopefully all the future parties are gonna be exciting like that. When we're in our 30s, you think we're gonna have a real big banger sometime soon?
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully, right? COVID will be over soon, and then we're just gonna go back to fucking
40. I
mean,
don't know.
as
They'll
long
play
as,
Baccarat.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like an Epstein vibe, and it's,
yeah, as long as we don't have any underage chicks, we're good. Only kings and queens above 18.
And no chicks with dicks either.
It's not very progressive of you.
And you know, it isn't. It's okay if they're hot enough and I'm drunk enough.
Oh wow.
Every butthole's the same.
Yep.
It's just got dark.
As long as they're not stinky.
Just like the butthole.
I just don't want stinky parts anymore. I just don't ever smell that smell. So at any given point, if you have that smell, I can't. Like even a little bit, like it brings PTSD. I'm like, oh no, I can't.
Like, are you gonna react different now? Like, as opposed to you holding it for 2
Yeah,
years?
yeah. Exactly. Now, before I'd be like, yeah, let's go. Now I'm like, oh no, oh no.
Would you just like you could be a fine bitch and you're about to get.
If it
Are
smells,
you gonna tell her straight to your face, your puss stinks?
yes.
I'm proud of you.
I can't. I'm sorry.
No man should have to go through that.
That was, and she wasn't even that attractive.
I don't know why you put up with it.
I know why I did. I know why I did.
Because he got his pee-pee touched.
Because I got my pee-pee touched. This is what low self-esteem does to a guy.
You never had to go through that.
Yeah, you didn't. You don't have low self-esteem.
As far as we know, you've never had low self-esteem. You've always had this machismo, so you've always been pulling bitches. Okay, or we didn't have that. I'm the fat funny guy. That's it.
I was the skinny guy who turned to the fat guy, and I'm just in limbo of who I am as a person. I'm in an identity crisis.
But even then, when he was, skinnier chap, he was still.
I was still very self-conscious.
I mean,
I appreciated females way too much, more than what they were worth, unfortunately.
I was more insecure when I was fat, but at the same time, I guess I had a good rap. Because even when I was like fat, even in middle school, I had a girlfriend.
It wasn't about, but again, it's as he was saying, it's not about what it's about what you think of yourself, not what others think of you. Because others actually liked us. Others thought we were great. There was plenty of occasions, especially when I was younger, where I probably had a large amount of girls that really found me attractive and then would have done things with me. And I literally went right over my head. Guys too. That's not true. I told you that story. Guys too. There was a guy who lived in our development that liked me. And I was just like, I'm not getting. Yeah, I'm like, hey. How you doing?
But a lot of times, like myself, I'd be too stupid to know any better.
Yeah.
Because I was distracted by something else.
Yeah.
Trying to waste my time with something else that wasn't interested in me.
Yeah, you do that whole reserve thing where you're like, you can't leave, like your options are closed at that point because you're like, well, meanwhile, it's like the dumbest thing. Yeah, we were dumb.
Moral of the story: we were dumb.
Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb.
Dummy.
But anyways, guys, thank you for having this little birthday podcast with me and spending it with me. Appreciate it through this hard times. But it's all looking up now. You guys are listening to the podcast. We're all having fun. It's just a good old time.
Lubing up.
I'm lubing up. Lubing up, ready to go.
No, you got dramatic. Yeah. That was excessive.
Anyway.
Soul clapper.
But yeah. So I think I'm done. I think we're glad that you have all listened. And trust me, there are more new and exciting episodes to come with new guests, old guests, and everything in between.
New old guests? I'm a new old guest.
New old guests, too. Yep.
I'll be returning more often. Moving back to
Can't wait.
Stinky South Florida.
So looks like I need to get more mics.
Yeah.
Looks like I need to get more mics. We're going to have a big podcast eventually. All these people. But yeah. Well, 1 year older, 1 year wiser. Wow. Got anything to say? Final words?
Let's hit the strip club.
Sounds
just like every other night.
Sounds nothing different. Yeah.
Let's do this.
How about you, Berto?
I love you and appreciate you. That's it.
Oh, I feel the love. Thank you again. And thank you all for listening to my birthday podcast. It is probably more unstructured than the one that we did on 420, but hey.
That one was hard. That one was hard to sit through. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been told that it was one of our best ones.
Okay. So
as far as hilarity,
I don't feel like it was the best one, but I feel like it was.
When I was trying to listen to it, I was trying to drive far and do stuff and distract myself while from driving. And I was too focused on what you guys were doing. I was like, no, I need something else to distract me. It's like when you're
that's good.
When you're like, this is more off the cuff than normal. I was like, oh no, not right now. I'll do it when I'm at.
It was good, no, but it really wasn't that bad. It was actually way more structured than this one, where we really was all over the place.
No, yeah, you did.
Because we start looking at videos. You didn't get to that part?
No.
Yeah, actually, really, like 20 minutes. Actually, 20 minutes into that podcast.
Yeah, I tapped out early because I was like, I need something to.
And it's a short podcast
to distract my driving.
Yeah. Nah, listen to it. It's good. It's good. Anyway, for you guys too, you should all listen to every single one of them, and I think you are. So.
Like, comment, and repost.
Yeah, comment, send an email, do something. Just let me know you're listening. Especially, I just need feedback. Even if I know you, just say something. Give me something. I'm lonely out here. But anyway, remember, if you ever have something to say, always go to a friend, talk to them, love them, squeeze them, hug them, let them know you care. Okay?
Touch your dick, but platonically.
Always. Peace.
Yeah.
Go ahead, baby, call that shit, baby. Call that motherfucking therapist, baby. If you don't got a therapist, call your mom. If you don't got a mom, call your motherfucking friend. If you don't got a friend, talk to the person under the bridge and they'll tell you about your problem. Gotta go talk that. Gotta 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 go ahead, baby, go ahead and talk that. Gotta go ahead and baby, gotta talk that. Gotta go ahead and get your feelings out, baby. Go ahead and talk that. Gotta talk that. Talk to me, baby, yo, I wanna help you. Talk to me, baby, girl, I wanna help you. Talk to me, baby boy, I wanna help you. Talk to me, baby boy, I wanna help you. Talk to me, 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 talk to me. Go ahead and talk down. 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 Go ahead and talk, I gotta talk that. If you're not feeling well, baby, gotta talk it out. Gotta get it from the inside to the outside. Gotta externalize that shit. Gotta take it from the bottom of your stomach to the top of the lift and to get that out. Now you feel a little better, now you do that shit. Gotta exercise, gotta exercise, gotta exercise. Gotta exercise your mind.